Most land clearing operators I meet work harder than almost anyone I know. They're up before dawn, they're on the machine all day, and they're quoting jobs at night and they're doing their own books on the weekend. And at the end of the year, they're still stuck somewhere between 200 and 400,000 with who knows how much profit. They're not lazy, they're not stupid, they're doing everything they can think of and it's still not working. I work with hundreds of land clearing and forestry mulching companies and have for the last 5 years, and I see this pattern constantly. And today I'm going to tell you exactly what's keeping you stuck and what the guys who break through to multiple seven figures a year actually do differently. There are three ceilings that keep land clearing companies stuck, and most operators are hitting at least two of them at any given time. Ceiling number one is the pricing ceiling. This is the most common and the most invisible. You're underpriced, not by a little, by a lot. And because you're underpriced, the only way to make more money is to do more jobs, more volume, more hours, more days in the machine, more burnout. But there's only so many hours in the day, so you hit a wall. You're maxed out physically and your revenue plateaus. Not because there isn't more work, but because each job isn't making you enough. I hear this all the time. I'm busy all the time, but there's no money left at the end of the month. If that's you, and we see this constantly in our network, your pricing is broken. The guys stuck at 300K usually have the same profile. No formal pricing system. They're charging what they think the market will bear instead of what the job actually costs them. And they're never calculating their actual operating expenses to get a crew day rate. They're guessing. And when you're guessing, you're almost always guessing low because of fear of losing the job beats the fear of not making money. Ceiling number two is the lead ceiling. You're dependent on word of mouth. Maybe you've got a Google business profile. Maybe you post on Facebook once in a while. But your phone rings when it rings. And some months it doesn't ring much. So what happens? Good months, you're slammed. You're working 7 days a week trying to get it all done. Bad months, especially in winter or rainy season, your phone goes quiet and you panic. This inconsistency kills businesses. It forces you to take bad jobs when you're slow, and it makes you overcommit when you're busy. You can never plan ahead because you never know what next month is going to look like. Word of mouth is great. Google reviews are amazing, but relying solely on those is like hoping it rains at the right time to water your crops. The operators who break through, they don't hope, they have a system. Ceiling number three, the capacity ceiling. One machine, one operator, usually you, maybe a helper, but you're the business. If you're sick, revenue stops. If the machine breaks down, revenue stops. If you want to take your kid to a baseball game on a Tuesday, you lose a day of revenue. You're not just the operator, you're the estimator, you're the sales guy, you're the bookkeeper, the marketer, the customer service department, and there are only so many hats you can wear before you start dropping them. This ceiling doesn't just limit revenue, it limits your life. I've watched operators burn out not because the work was too hard physically, but because they couldn't escape the business even for a day. Most operators think their problem is one of these three. But here's the truth, these ceilings compound. Bad pricing means you need more volume to survive. More volume means you need more leads. More leads with bad pricing means you're busier but not profitable, and all of it falls on one person, you, because you haven't built the system to scale past yourself. Now, here's the good news. I get to see both sides of this. I see the guys stuck at 300,000, and I see the guys doing 500, 750, a million and beyond. Same industry, same type of machines, and a lot of the same markets. The difference is not talent, it's not luck, and it's not even having a bigger machine. It's systems and decisions. And I'm going to break down exactly what separates them. Number one, they know their numbers. This sounds basic, but it's shockingly rare. Top operators who know their operating expenses to the dollar, they know their close rate, they know their cost per lead, they know their average job size, they know what their machine can do per hour. They treat this like a business, not a trade. And they know their numbers, they make better decisions. Because of that, they know which jobs to take, when to raise prices, when to hire, and when to invest in a new machine. One of our clients, I won't name him, but he's in the Southeast, tracks everything on a simple spreadsheet. Every lead, quote, close job, dollar. He told me that the day he started tracking his numbers was the day's business changed, not because the numbers were magic, but because he could finally see what was actually happening instead of guessing. Number two, they have a lead system that works while they're on the machine. This is the big one. The guys doing 500K, a million plus, multi-millions, they're not spending their evenings posting on Facebook groups hoping someone needs a tree removed or their property cleared. They have a system usually ads, sometimes SEO, often both, that generates leads consistently. The leads come in, they get a notification on their phone, they call back fast, same day, often within the hour. And our data shows that this matters enormously. Operators who respond the same day close 3 times more than the guys who wait even a day. Think about that from the customer's perspective. They've decided to clear the property. They're excited. They've got momentum. They want to get this done. They fill out a form or they make a call. You get back to them in 30 minutes. You're the hero. You get back to them in 3 days. They've already talked to 2 other guys, forgotten your name, probably talked to your competitor who's not as good, which means now the customer gets a worse experience. That's our responsibility. Our data across the network shows that closed deals average 24 touch points, calls, texts, emails, follow ups. Lost deals quit before 7. Operators who win don't just call once, they follow up systematically. Day 0, double dial, then text. Day 1, call again. Day 3, follow up with value. Day 5, check in. Day 7, final follow up. It's a system, not a vibe. Number 3, they pre qualify ruthlessly. Top operators have minimums. They know their minimum job size, they know their service area, and they don't bend on either. I see so many operators driving an hour and a half to look at a $1,200 job. By the time you factor in drive, assessment, quoting, follow up, drive back, even if you win, you spend half a day on something that barely covers your expenses. Meanwhile, the top guys are filtering on the phone. How many acres? Where is it? What's on the property? What's the timeline? And if it doesn't meet their minimum, they decline politely or refer it to somebody else. No guilt, no wasted time. This frees them up to focus on the 5, 8, and $15,000 jobs, same number of hours in the day, but radically different revenue. Number 4, they track and respond fast. I already mentioned speed to lead, but let me put some more numbers on it. In our network, the operators closing above 20% of all of their leads all have one thing in common. Their average response time to a lead is under an hour. Under an hour. The operators closing less than 10% of their leads, average response time is 18 to 36 hours. And some of them, a lot of people, never follow up at all. They call once, maybe they read the lead, customer doesn't answer, they move on, they say it's a tire kicker, and that lead cost them $50 to generate and they just threw it away. If you fix nothing else in your business, if you watch the whole video and only do one thing, fix your speed to lead, call back fast, follow up systematically, that alone can double your close rate. Let me paint you a picture with 2 operators, same machine, same market, same customers available to them, but completely different outcomes. So, operator A, he's running a solid setup, compact track loader with a forestry mulching head, good condition, well maintained. But he charges $1,500 a day because that's what he thinks the market is. He closes about 5% of his leads because he responds slow, doesn't follow up. He takes every job regardless of size or location because he's always worried about having an empty schedule. At the end of the year, operator A makes around $280K in revenue. After expenses, he nets maybe $80,000, working 5 to 6 days a week. That's about $100 an hour of machine operations before taxes. Operator B, same machine, similar market, but he charges $2,800 a day because he knows his operating expenses, calculates for a 30% margin, closes 18% because they respond fast, follow up on a cadence, and pre-qualify to only take jobs above the minimum. At the end of the year, operator B does $520K in revenue after expenses, netting $200,000, working 4 days a week, taking Fridays off for quoting and admin. That's $340 an hour of machine operation. Same machine, 340 versus 100 an hour. The machine doesn't know the difference. The market doesn't know the difference. The difference is the systems. And here's what's really interesting. Operator B works fewer hours, takes Fridays off, doesn't work weekends, actually takes vacation, and makes more than double the net income. This isn't hypothetical. This is what we see across our network. The gap between the top 20% and the bottom 20% is not 10 to 20%. It's 2 to 4x. And it's not about working harder. If anything, the top performers work fewer total hours. They just work smarter on better jobs at better prices with better systems. I've seen this data from over 400 companies now. Every single time someone is stuck, it comes back to one or more of these 3 ceilings. Fix the pricing, fix the lead flow, fix the operational bottleneck, and things start moving. So if you're watching this and you're nodding and you see yourself in what I'm describing, here's the honest truth about what it takes to break through. It's not more hours. You're already working enough hours, probably too many. Adding more days on the machine might add 50K in revenue, but it'll subtract years from your body and your relationships. That's not a growth strategy. That's a treadmill. It's not a bigger machine. I see guys finance $300,000-$400,000 machines thinking that'll be the unlock, and sometimes it is if everything else is in place. But if your pricing is wrong, your leads are inconsistent, and you're still the bottleneck for every single decision, a more expensive machine just means more expensive problems. What it actually takes is boring systems, decisions, and discipline. Step one, fix your pricing. Calculate your actual operating expenses. Use the production rate matrix for every quote. Stop guessing. Stop fearing the number. A customer who won't pay your fair price is not a customer, they are a charity case. If you want help figuring out your actual crew day rate, we do actually have a tool for this. It's called ClearPath. It's an AI advisor built specifically for land clearing operators. You can plug in your real costs, it'll calculate it for you, show you where you might be undercharging, benchmark you against the network, and it's well worth checking out. Landclearing.io. Go check that out. Step two, fix your lead flow. You need a predictable, consistent pipeline, not dependent on weather or dependent on your buddy referring you to another job next quarter, but a real system that generates leads every week. The math works in this industry. A good Facebook lead costs $30 to $40. If your close rate is 15% and your average job is $5,000, every $500 you spend should bring you in a $5,000 job. That's a 10x return, but only if you have a lead system and the follow up to make it work. Step three is to fix your operations. What's the one thing that if you weren't doing it would free up 10 hours a week? Is it answering the phone, hiring a VA, getting an automated follow up system, bookkeeping? That's obviously cheap. Is it quoting? Systematize your pricing so quotes take 15 minutes instead of an hour. The guys who break through the 500K and beyond ceiling didn't add more hours in their day. They subtracted tasks from their plates. They built systems that handled 80% so they could focus on the 20% that actually grows the business. Selling jobs, managing quality, and building relationships. Step four is knowing when to hire. This is the question I probably get the most after pricing. Who and how should I hire? So here's the framework. If your backlog is consistently 6+ weeks out and you're turning away work, then it's time. But don't hire an operator first. Hire the thing that frees you up to sell more. For most operators, that's an admin or an office person who can answer the phone, follow up with leads, schedule estimates, and handle invoicing. Your highest value activity is selling jobs and managing the business. Every hour you spend on admin instead of selling is an hour where your $300 an hour skill set could be used on a 20 or is still being used on a 20 an hour task. That's the real cost of not hiring. Now, look, I've just given you the entire playbook: pricing system, lead strategy, operational fixes, hiring framework. You can go execute all this on your own, and some of you will. That's great. I genuinely want you to win, whether you ever talk to me or not. But here's what I know from watching hundreds of companies go through this. Most operators don't have time to figure out the ads, build the follow-up system, optimize the funnel, and keep running the machine. They know what they need to do. They just can't do everything at once. That's exactly why Rise exists. We're not a marketing agency that happens to work with land clearing companies. This is all we do. We run ads, build sales systems, and manage lead follow-up for hundreds of land clearing companies right now. We know what it costs to get a lead in your specific market. We know what ad creatives work. We know what follow-up cadences close, and we've tested this across hundreds of operators. This isn't theory for us. It's Tuesday, and we don't work with everyone. If you're doing under $200,000 a year or you're just getting started, you may not be ready for us yet. And I'd rather be honest about that than take your money. The operators we work with the best are already established, doing $200,000 to $300,000 a year. They're good at what they do, but they've hit a ceiling that they can't break through on their own. If that sounds like you, you're good at the work, you just need the lead flow and the systems to grow, we should talk. If you got value out of this video, hit subscribe. I put out content every week for land clearing operators, pricing, marketing, hiring, scaling, stuff I'm learning from working with hundreds of you in this industry. And if you're at 300K or more per year and you want to see what your market actually looks like with a real lead system behind you, what leads cost in your area, how many you'd like to hit your revenue goal, what the ROI would look like, there's a link in the description to our website. Go check it out. You can see some cool testimonials over there as well. No pressure, no hard pitch. We'll look at the data. You can decide if it makes sense. See you in the next one.